right, welcome back to Ironsworn. Okay, so you had a nice little discussion there with Vess, and I'm assuming we're going to start in the morning when
Yeah.
everybody wakes up. Do you see yourself starting early again, or that you want to
Yeah, I
start
think
off?
so. I think Jurek is an early riser generally.
Gotcha. I mean, unless you want to do the scene where it's like you try to talk to Gavros again, but I don't think he's got anything further to say, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
um, I mean, Ajla makes her way down after, just getting a little cleaned up and changed and such. Um, she, as usual, brings the sword down with her, just to make sure that it's with her at all times at this point. And, yeah. Where do you, where do you go? Do you stay in the main room, or do you go outside to warm up?
Yeah, I think outside just to, you know, that kind of restless looking around, watching out for potential danger. But I think, he also would go and see to the horses, those kind of chores that need doing first thing.
And she'll come out and look for you, and she'll kind of watch you a little bit as you're doing your thing. And she'll say, "Morning, Jurek. How was your sleep?"
Uh, as good as could be expected. You?
Just had that disturbing. It's not a vision. I don't know what it is. There was a woman in that dream again, or at least that I remember seeing as I was going to sleep. And then it was almost like as I was waking up, I saw her on the fringe of my vision, like whatever I was dreaming about. It's like I could see her there, and she was waving to me. It's very odd. I mean,
What did she look like?
I I couldn't see. That's the thing. I mean, I saw her, but I couldn't make out any features or like really what she looked like. I mean, she looked like a warrior. I mean, tallish and um built, but all I could really see was, I guess, like her eyes were like gray or silver. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anyone with eyes like that before. Had it have been a
I
dream.
have.
What?
I have. I think that's Vess you're seeing.
Vess, as in Vess in the blade. And she reaches back and touches the hilt.
Aye, that's right.
So it's not enough that the sword will return to me. She's, I guess, showing me that she's in my dreams too. Is that what's going on?
Seems that way. I can't say I know what she wants, but I think she has her own view on things.
Well, if the myth and the legend are any indication, I mean, she fought hard and well, and she was a consummate warrior. I mean, My father had stories like that.
Your father.
He was
Tavik
a
never spoke much about his father.
That's rather strange. He was a warrior. And he met our mother when they were, I guess, traveling. And she would always be so proud of him. She would always tell us the stories, even if he didn't. He always had the same few stories about his adventures or things that he did with, I guess, his warband. And Mother used to always tell those stories. So proud of her warrior husband. I grew up with those. About the glory. About the bloodshed.
Well, the stories contain a lot of the former, but the reality is a lot of the latter.
I could tell. I mean, again, she was very proud of him. Big and strong and full of the iron he used so well. Speaking of which, if I recall correctly, when you swore upon our father's ring, it was just to get me to Rhyme Run. You fulfilled it.
But I feel there's more to be done.
I just want you to know that you're not held to anything further. You got me here. And that's enough. If anything, according to your friend, it's more than enough. So, I understand if you have someplace else to go.
Believe me, I don't have a lot going on that is pulling me away. Besides, I'm curious what that Gylrikin fellow of yours is up to.
That is a question. Do you remember anything? I remember going to the tower. I remember, talking with him. He wanted us to leave the sword. And I said no. And then we left the tower. And it feels like there's something missing.
I noticed the same thing. Do you think, is he some kind of sorcerer?
He's never been interested in that before. I mean, he would just get his information out of those books and scrolls and... I mean... But then again, it's been quite a long time. What do I know? I don't know anything about him at all anymore. I don't think. So, don't go by me. We need to go back
Well,
up there.
It's funny you should bring it up, but I think I'd best tell you. I had a conversation with Vess last night.
How did...
I think you know how.
She came and talked to you?
She did, aye. And she said that it wasn't just the three of us up in that tower. There was a woman there. Now, I don't remember anything about that.
No. Would she lie? I mean, how would we not both remember somebody
I
else
wouldn't put
being
it
there?
past her. But it seems to me it's worth bearing in mind.
Okay.
What do you think if one of us was to make their way up to that tower without knocking on the front door?
Okay.
See if we can see anything.
Okay. Ajla hesitates. She looks all around except for directly at you, and she is trying to make up her mind about something. And then finally she does look at you and says, I'll be honest with you, Jurek. It was very difficult to stay there for as little of a time as we did, talking to him, to Gylrikin. And I actually don't want to do it again.
I can understand that. I can't say I took too much myself, but if it would help, I'm happy to go by myself next time.
I mean, I don't think he is any match for you. So, I mean, I would appreciate it. I don't normally ask others to do things in my stead or on my behalf. So, this is new and uncomfortable for me. I'm sorry. I mean, it would make sense if you... It would make sense, I think, if you took the sword and let him see it again. But stay there with him as he's looking it over or doing what he says he needs to do for research. And then maybe I can see what I can find out by looking around the tower. That way I'm nearby, and just in case the sword pulls a disappearing act, then you know at least I'll be nearby to get it, I guess.
Seems as good an idea as any.
Yes. But if he is working magic somehow, I mean, not that I know really what to look for. I don't really deal with magic users myself. Do you know what to look for?
Me? Anything out of the ordinary. Nothing more than that.
I'm familiar with some of the old ways. Some of the plants you need to put by the window as protection, and some of the, well, recognizing the signs of the firstborn territories. But I'm not well studied with any of the magic that happens, so I know it's a big ask, but would you be willing to do it?
Of course.
All right then. And then I imagine that we would go on our way. Gavros will give us a little something, to break the morning fast. And we start heading up to the tower. As we
So
see go ahead.
So the plan is that I'm going to go in, and you're going to try and sneak in, or
I don't know that there's a way to sneak into the tower.
Mm.
The way Gylrikin had it built was pretty much the one entrance, per se. But then again, there might be secrets to this tower that she didn't know about from a long time ago. So, it bears thinking about, and it'll be something that she considers when you head up there. So I imagine that you would be going up to the front door, and then she would be making her way around the tower itself, possibly checking out the grounds beyond the tower a little bit, not within sight of town. So I imagine that the tower is on a hill of sorts, making it quite defensible, but I don't think that's what was intended when he first went there, built it. So what do you think the day is like?
I think cold weather, kind of just persistent spatter of rain, overcast.
You're both wearing cloaks, so, with hoods. So she's outside, and you'll be going in. Do you use the strange door knocker?
I think Jurek will just pound on the wood of the door.
It does not create the strange effect that happened when Ajla had knocked on the strange door knocker the last time. you hear the pounding of the door, of you knocking on it, and you hear like a little bit of a clutter and a clatter behind it as Gylrikin will throw it open and look at you. Because of the weather being what it is, it's like he's now got some sort of robe that goes down to his feet, and it's like it's got some fur trimming on it or something like that. And then he just answers the door with an impatient look on his face. Huh, it's you.
Expecting someone else.
No. But that the sword?
What else would it be?
Blunt. I almost like it. And he turns away from you and then gestures for you to follow him inside. We'll go to my workroom.
What type of work do you do there?
Research.
And what does that involve?
A lot of reading. A lot of searching. Basically what he does is he takes you up a spiraling staircase. And it leads not to the top of the tower, but somewhere fairly close. And as you're taking this staircase, you can see those windows that were visible from the road and from the ground. And you see how far-reaching it looks, how far-reaching they look as you ascend. And then he takes you into a room of worn stone. You can still feel all the damp here. But somehow, once you get into the room itself, it becomes uncomfortably close. As if it's hot, but you don't feel hot. You do feel that you need to take your hood down of your cloak, and you may want to take it off. Like stuffy, even though there are windows that are open in this space. There's work tables with books and scrolls on them. And there seems to be symbols painted on the floor. So you're not going to leave the sword here?
I'm not going to let it out of my sight.
Well, you're in for a boring time then, because going to be looking through these books here and scrolls to see if there's any indication of where this came from.
I was a soldier. I'm used to waiting around.
Do you read?
I don't. Why? Are you looking for an assistant?
No. Didn't know if there was anything that would be of interest to a soldier. He starts to pull some of the scrolls and some of the books from the shelves and put them on one of the workbenches, and then he pulls out some charcoal sticks and some parchment to make notes. And as he's fiddling around, he's looking at you from the corner of his eye. No matter where he is in his workspace, he's looking at you, but not looking at you. You know she won't stay with you, right?
Stay with me.
She cannot be depended upon. As he pulls out some books and starts looking through them, looking at the sword and then looking back at the books, not looking at you. She doesn't like to stick around for very long.
I can understand that.
Can you?
Never been much good at sticking in one place myself.
Even to places or people that you've made promises to?
I try not to make promises lightly.
Don't know if she gave considerable weight to any promises she made long ago. She's not dependable. Flighty. Pulls out some more scrolls.
We'll see.
What's she doing for you then?
It's not so much what she's doing for me. I promised I'd help her out with this business with the sword. It doesn't go much beyond that.
He looks up at you from scribbling on the blank scroll. Help. I mean, aside from helping her to learn how to swing this sword around, I mean, what kind of help would she need? You're guarding her, aren't you?
That kind of help, yes.
Why would she need a guard? You're a
These are
soldier.
dangerous times, dangerous place. Anyone traveling can benefit from a guard.
She's always been rather independent.
That's true enough.
He just looks at you with a frown on his face, like trying to figure it out. This is a puzzle. And then he just goes back and tries to compare the sword, notes on the sword, with things that he's looking at in his books and pulling out more scrolls. Let's flip to down and back on the ground. Ajla is making her way around the tower. She's following the wall, just on the off chance that maybe there was something that she had missed when she was there so long ago. But she doesn't remember seeing anything. Another entrance, another place that could be used to exit. because she remembers exiting through a window. And, she's remembering this, and as she's making her way to the back of the tower that's on the opposite end of where the front door is, she sees off a little bit further off in the forest, like on the edge or a little bit beyond it within. She can see a woman there looking like she's stacking branches, pulling plants. And it's strange because this is away from the village, and this is in a clearing behind the tower. She doesn't recognize the woman. She sees a back with long ashen blonde hair and what looks like a headdress of sorts with antlers on it. And in spite of herself, or maybe because of herself, she is curious enough to go walk and take a look. And she hails the woman. Hello? Am I disturbing you?
Not at all.
I don't normally see people here, very close to the tower. Or at least I don't remember seeing people coming close here to the tower unless they were invited. Do you come from town? Although looking at her and looking at her garb, she's pretty sure this woman is not anywhere near town. But she doesn't look like any of the woods people that she's seen before, or even she's without a mask, so she's not one of the firstborn. So
I'm not from the town, no. And you?
I'm not from the town either. I used to live here for a little while, and now I'm back for no good reason. I'm sorry.
This was many years ago.
Yes. Do I know you?
Do you know me?
Ajla shakes her head. I don't think so.
No.
What, what are you doing here? She's
I'm gathering herbs and plants. And what are you doing here? So far from the town?
I'm with a friend who is visiting with the man in the tower.
Ah, yes, your sturdy warrior friend.
I'm sorry. Do you know Jurek?
Not well.
And Ajla starts to get very nervous. What color are this woman's eyes?
I think they're a kind of pale blue, slightly icy.
Yeah, Ajla doesn't see anything welcoming or inviting in this gaze whatsoever. She starts to back away. I think I'm going to go back and see how my friend is doing. I'm sorry to have disturbed you.
No, you did not disturb me. It was very nice to speak with you, Ajla Voldruk.
I don't know your name.
No. My name is not important.
Okay. And Aja will definitely start backing away a little quicker as she makes her way back to the tower entrance. And she does sneak a little look behind her at the woman. Does she go back to what she's doing, or is she watching?
Little column A, little column B.
Oh yeah, not creepy at all. Not at all. And actually what Ajla will do is like it's a circular tower. So she will make her way back to the front entrance, but not not knock or go in. Back up in the tower, Gylrikin's looking through his books and scrolls. The more he looks, the more it looks like he's grabbing some scrolls and books that are older than what he initially had. More desiccated, more crumbly. And he's looking more and more puzzled as he's looking back and forth between his written materials and this sword. And he will finally come over to it. Now, are you holding on to it, Jurek, or are you like letting him lay it out somewhere?
Jurek put it down on the table, but is watching it.
Have you handled this blade?
I have not myself.
Why not?
It's Ajla's blade.
What does she have use for a blade?
I think you best ask her that question.
I would, but she's not here.
No.
She's been more of a brawler, if I recall correctly.
She did mention something about that, yes. She was a fighter as a child.
Doesn't surprise me any.
So what do you make of the blade?
He'll actually gingerly pick it up. But first, before he does, he will grab two what look like silk cloths, silk kerchiefs, and then he will put one in each hand before he grabs the hilt, before he tries to handle the blade itself, trying to tilt it in what light there is from the window. This is a blade of incredible age. I'm trying to find some reference to it. This was not folded or made in any of our recent times.
It's an unusual design. I know, I can see that much.
It is.
It's not like any sword I've ever slung.
I'm just wondering about the significance of this broken tip. It was made like this.
Are you sure it's broken? Or is that an intentional shape? Like I said, it doesn't look like any sword I've ever used. The blade is only on one side. There's not much in the way of a grip or protection on the grip.
This isn't like nothing that's in these books. It's almost as if it's not of this. Almost as if it's not of, well, this land, our people, a different make altogether. And what was this she was saying about an inscription? I don't see anything.
And I think at this point, Jurek takes a moment. He's weighing whether to talk about this, but then figures that, you know, if they're going to get information out of Gylrikin, he needs to know everything. It's an odd thing. Ajla said she saw writing on the blade, and I didn't at first. But I took a cut from that blade. Not a big cut. And after that, I could see the inscription too.
Do you see it now?
Aye. Right there by the finial.
Huh.
You think that's significant? Seems significant to me. Seems like sorcery to me.
I'd be curious to see what this says. But it requires a cut, you say?
So it seems. I'm no expert in these matters, though. I'm no scholar. I'm no sorcerer.
Well, let's just test this, shall we? And then he will take it by the hilt and then slowly draw a small line across his forearm and let the blood drip on the blade. And then you can see it almost shine and shimmer in the morning light. Although it's hard to tell whether it's because of the light or if it's because of something coming from the blade. But his eyes widen as he sees something. And You notice that the inscription is a little brighter, but his frown indicates that he can't read it. This is odd.
Do you see it?
Yes, this is writing I don't understand. Where did
That
she
makes
get
two
this?
of us.
Where did she get this?
You might say it came to her. Seemed to seek her out.
Oh. And he actually brings a hand to his forehead. Oh. Is this some kind of tale? Another one. If it wasn't for this magic, I'd think it was just something that she just told as one of her fireside stories. It sounds too much like one of them.
If it was just a story, I don't think she'd have come to you for help. Seems to me you were the last hope she had for finding something out about this blade. Or the only hope.
He smiles at that, and it is not a nice smile. So I have something on her after all. He murmurs that to himself, not necessarily meaning for you to hear, Jurek.
I think Jurek files that away in the file of things he does not appreciate about Gylrikin.
Where is she? Why isn't she here?
I offered to come alone today. She had some things to attend to.
Did she know? And he smiles a little bit more, showing teeth. Again, not a nice smile. She'll leave you, you know. He's not looking at you, he's looking out the window. When it's the least convenient for you, and most expedient for her.
That's her right. She's not with me in the sense that you seem to think she is.
She's never needed a guard before. She's never needed anyone before. Well, maybe not before me. Just a little warning for the future. Jurek, you said your name was?
That's right.
Again, I don't think she can be trusted. You may want to keep this blade for yourself.
I can take care of myself. Don't worry on my account.
Did she say that people were after her because of this thing?
If you were in possession of a blade, an ancient, unusual blade, and writing appeared on that blade to them that was cut with it, you don't think that might be something that might be of interest to folks.
Might
Seems to
be.
me if I was in possession of such a blade, I'd be very careful about who I told about it or showed it to.
And yet you bring it to me.
Well, I
Really?
can assure you that was not my idea.
Fair enough. Well. Now that you have this information, or, I guess, still need to figure out where this came from, or why it's significant. Or maybe we should just let iron go back to iron. I'm sure the priests would pay well for this.
What makes you say that?
It's similar to the material that they have on their person, resembling the iron pillars that they worship. This is something that would be right up their alley.
Well, let's just say I'll encourage you to not think any more along those lines.
It's not like you have any kind of familial tie to this. Or do you? I mean, it's a blade.
To the blade. I can't say as I know. I know who my father was and I know who my mother was. Beyond that, I don't have a distinguished lineage like yourself. I don't trace my blood back to the old world.
I am the 10th in my line. And he speaks with such high pride. And he grits his... You can see the expression on his face starting to build to a bit of anger, Jurek. If you're looking at the notion of ancestry. Could have had a chance for an 11th long ago. Or a legitimate one. And again, he's murmuring to himself, not necessarily meaning for you to hear.
I'm sure a man like you, seems you're a man of some means.
Yes. Yes,
Could find himself a wife.
Oh. I suppose if you need that legitimacy, sure. But, I haven't found one that has suited me. He's looking angrier by the second.
Well, you and me, I two men in the same boat in that regard.
But in thinking of the one who had the chance and spurned the opportunity, that's where it sits. Uncomfortably.
Perhaps the opportunity to provide you with an heir is something that's more important to you than to her. Did that occur to you?
That's not the point. She made an agreement. She made a promise. And she didn't keep it. What would you say about someone like that?
I'm sure she had her reasons.
Reasons that she didn't give me before she ran away. He will wrap up his now dried wound with one of the silk kerchiefs that he was using to handle it. And then he turns to you. Places it back on the table and says, "What exactly are you doing here? Not her. You. What is your purpose here, Jurek?"
As I told you, my purpose is to keep Ajla from coming to harm. If this blade is leading her into trouble, then I'm here to ensure she has a way out of it. Simple as that.
Why didn't she come with you?
I didn't ask, but I get the impression she wasn't desperate to see you again.
This, he has a very pissed off look on his face. It would serve me to keep this blade as recompense for her reneging on our bargain.
And I've already told you that blade is not going out of my sight.
He starts to have a smile on his face. Well then. Perhaps then both you and the sword will stay out of sight. For good. And this is when he slams down his hand on the table. And then those symbols on the floor start to glow. Would you say that in this case you'd be facing danger?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what he's up to, but that seems reasonable.
Yeah.
I'm reacting to an imminent threat.
Yep.
And am I reacting with, what are we looking at here?
Well, how would you react? Because then that would determine which stat you're using.
I think there's two that, it's between two.
Okay.
We can say with charm, loyalty, or courage. In other words, he's being steadfastly loyal to Ajla, which would mean heart, or with forceful defense, which would mean iron. So,
I mean, you would know how Jurek would react faced with.
It kind of depends on the nature of the threat as well, I think. If it's a physical threat,
he's not physically threatening you with the blade or anything like that. Basically what's going to happen is that you will be transported elsewhere.
In that case, I think heart is the sensible thing, because he's kind of, just acting out of loyalty to
Mm-hmm.
Ajla.
Sure.
All right, let's see what this is.
Okay.
I have a 3 plus 2 is a 5 versus a 6 and a 7, so that's a miss.
Jesus. Holy crap.
However, I could.
You have momentum to
I
burn?
have. I have momentum to burn it. Yeah,
Okay.
I have enough momentum to turn it into a strong hit.
Oh, good. Okay.
I think I'm going to do that. I'm intrigued to see where this is going.
Okay. All right.
If I, oh, why does it say I've got max momentum of 3? It doesn't make any sense.
No, you have maximum of 10. Well, momentum
Yeah,
10. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
The
weird.
max should be 10 as well, right? So I'm
Yeah,
burning
yeah,
down
yeah.
to 2, and that turns that into a strong hit,
Okay.
which means I'm successful. Take
Okay.
+1 momentum, so the momentum goes back up to 3 again.
Okay. I think what happens is that well, when he slams down his hand on the table and then the symbols on the floor are starting to light up, basically what it's looking like it's trying to do is create this kind of um, portal underneath your feet that will probably transport you elsewhere. Um, what do you do to counteract this to make sure that you're not going to be transported?
I think put just is he within the circumference of this?
He is not within the circumference
Right.
of
So
it.
I think yeah, Jurek will just step toward him.
Okay.
Just, not rushing, not leaping at him.
Okay. I mean, like, you are successful, so I mean, like, you managed to get out of the way of um the circle, the symbols in time, because what ends up happening is that whether you're like stepping into him or you're stepping near him to get out of that particular um, space, then what happens is that it's like the floor drops and turns into this crumbling void space of purple and black and blue clouds. And because you have a strong hit, you can tell me wherever you're located in relation to him.
Yeah, I think he's by a table, so I think I'm
Yeah.
the opposite side of the table from him.
Okay.
But both us, the table as well outside of this
Mm-hmm.
circle,
Yeah.
and Jurek will just look at him and say, "Your sorcerer's tricks are very clever, but I mean what I say."
He will give you a bit of a grin. So you're fast. But are you fast enough to do anything about this? And then because he planted the sword on the table between you, all he does is take a mighty swipe with his arm and then tosses the sword into the void. Now no one gets to have it. Go back and tell Ajla.
And at that point, I think Jurek will leap for the table and tackle him.
I think we need to take a break. 5 minutes to think
Yep.
about how this is gonna look. um 17 mark for my watch.
Yep.
It's awesome. At this point, Ajla is down on the ground, sitting against the wall of the tower, and she's not by the door. She's away from the door, looking down towards the town and just sitting and thinking and trying to gear herself up to knock on the door or enter in. And she doesn't. She just sits there and puts her head down, and then she starts to drift. And as she's drifting, she feels like the air is closing in, and almost like as if she's dropping someplace, but she's not. She feels the ground underneath her. She feels that she's touching the wall of the tower, but yet it still feels like she's dropping, falling someplace, even though she's still where she is. And as she's getting this sensation in her head, she's hearing behind her ears, behind her eyes, she hears, "Oh, he let go of the sword." And then her head snaps up, and then she's back to herself, back sitting on the ground against the tower. And then, with a shoom, she looks to her left, and there's the sword, buried tip first into the ground. And she just looks at it with disbelief. What in the world? And then instinctually just looks up at the window. I mean, is that where it came from? I'm just wondering, all of a sudden it just appeared. She stands up. She takes it, pulls it out of the ground, and then tries the door. It's locked, or no discernible way to get in except by the knocker. She looks at the knocker, decides not to use it, but instead, out of sheer contrariness or some other idea, she decides to take the sword in both hands and smash the knocker with the sword. As that's happening, Jurek, you tackled Gylrikin?
Yeah. Jurek just leaps over the table and tackles him.
Okay.
So that's...
Enter the fray?
I guess. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Jurek is intending to, his aim here is to, like, force him to bring the sword back, because assuming that that's a possibility, right?
Right.
Or assuming that there's some trickery afoot here and he knows where it's gone, or
right.
That's what he was doing. Yeah, so I guess is it into the fray? Is like,
oh, he's going to try to do something, if, like, now that you've tackled him.
If he's going to fight back, then it isn't the fray, right? Yeah. So at that point,
oh, he's totally going to fight back.
Yeah, let's see what Enter the Fray does. So, well, we've determined his rank for a start.
That's always the tough one, because I can never
figure
out what fits.
I mean, there are some example creatures or like example opponents in the back of the book.
What do they have for sorcerers?
I don't know what they do.
I'm
Iron
not a
is
sorcerer, but he is, you know? Like,
mystic. They have a mystic. That's kind of close, I guess.
okay, what does it say?
Dangerous.
Okay,
Dangerous.
sounds good.
Um, yeah, okay. Let's go with that.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess he's not like super competent as a fighter, but he has some tricks up
Oh,
his sleeve.
he's going to do some, he's
So
going to do some stuff.
I'm gonna create a progress track for fighting fight with Gylrikin. Correctly. Okay, so basically every harm is going to be 2 progress here.
Okay.
Enter the fray is done with if you're
Facing off
facing
against your
off against your
foe.
foe, roll plus heart, moving to position against an unaware foe or striking without warning, roll plus shadow,
I would
ambush, roll
think
plus wits.
shadow is more
Kind of, yeah,
appropriate.
it kind of feels like shadow, right? Because it's just like, yeah, I lost my temper and jumped at him.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
Shadows 2. That's a 6 versus a 5 and a 3. That's a strong hit.
Good. Take 2 momentum. Great. You're like backing up. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
And
you have initiative. Okay, so you can keep going. He
okay.
has not been able to react yet. I mean, he's going to when he gets a chance, but for right now, you've got what the hell are you gonna do? You know.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, I mean, again, he smacked the sword into the void thing he created, and you're. Do you have your sword handy? I mean, are you
I
gonna
do,
use
but
it? You
I'm
gonna
not using
punch
it.
him? Right.
I'm
So.
just gonna. Yeah, I think actually what I'm going to do is like try and grapple him and pin him to the ground. Right.
Okay.
So that feels like a secure advantage because
Okay.
I'm trying to,
That makes sense.
you know, establish a position.
Yes, you're acting to outwit or outmaneuver your foe, or set up another move.
Yes.
So either way, it works.
Or
That's
attempting
fine.
to gain leverage. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So that's and
Sounds
it's
good.
going to be with iron, right? With
Hold
aggressive
on.
action.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. I rolled a 6 plus 3, which is 9.
Mm.
I rolled 2 9s on the challenge dice. So there's a
Ah,
miss with a match.
Jesus! That that means it's bad for you.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
So at
Hmm.
that point, I have to pay the price.
So as you're doing, well, you tackle him, and you were trying to grapple with him and what have you, but he's a little bit more. He may be flabby, but he's able to move, or something happened where you weren't able to get positioned correctly, so he's able to kind of roll out of your grasp, and then he whips out a dagger from his boot underneath his robe, and yeah, he's going to. Yeah, he's going to say, "You'll pay for that, you oaf." And huh. Would you continue to roll against this, or would I be rolling for?
Well, this is me paying the price, right? So it's like
Okay,
the
all right. So
outcome of
let's see.
this is what? Is he going to stab me with this thing?
Let me see. Most make the most negative outcome happen. Division 2 negative outcomes. Roll on the following table. Oh, I mean, now I'm starting to get your love of tables. I get it now. Okay, great. Go ahead and roll on the table, please. I'm just curious to see what it's
Mhm.
going to say.
97. A
Uh,
friend, companion, or ally is put in harm's way, or you are if alone.
it could go either way, to be honest, because one, the void is still open,
I
and
mean,
two, Ajla's down there, even though she has the sword.
you know who else is down there though?
Yes, that's what I mean.
I mean, it doesn't, the price doesn't have to be, especially in a match, doesn't have to be like something in the scene with
Exactly.
Jurek. It could be
I give you the choice. What would you think? Not
I'm just
fun, but
trying to think.
and
Yeah, I'm
again, you
just
had
trying to think.
double nines against your nine, so it's like, oh Jesus.
Yep. I'm just wondering if Kalida is going to try to take the blade somehow. But then, she wasn't expecting it to drop out of the sky. And presumably neither was Gylrikin. I
Mhm.
presume that's like.
Well, I mean, he wouldn't know yet. He wouldn't know that that had
Yeah, of course,
happened.
yeah. But like whatever he was trying to do with it wasn't like just throwing it out the window effectively, right?
No, it
So,
wasn't. I mean, it was
yeah.
in the void.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to think what she could do to you that would
Put me in harm's way. Yeah.
put you in harm's way. Yeah, I think
And I'm gonna make a point here. If you put Ajla in harm's way, imagine what would happen if Ajla happened to be knocked unconscious.
I was exactly going with that. That you know, Kalida's out there gathering herbs and other things. She's a sorceress of some description. She's going to attempt to poison Ajla, right?
Mm-hmm.
Drug her, subdue her in some way,
Mm-hmm.
and
Could be
that's going to make
fun.
Vess. If she's successful, that's going to make Vess appear. Yeah. So okay. So I think, yeah, as Ajla is sitting there by the back against the smooth stone wall of the castle and
Mm-hmm.
castle, the town, and um, she sees Kalida walking up with her bundle of, she has some kind of a basket or a bundle of things she's been gathering.
Mm-hmm.
She says, "Ah, we meet again. Are you waiting for Gylrikin?
No, I'm waiting for my friend. He's in there.
Well, let's see if we can find him, shall we?" And she holds out her hand for you to help you to your feet.
And Ajla's still looking at her warily. Um, she'll take her hand and allow her to help her up.
And as you take her hand, you feel a prick in the palm of your hand.
Ah, what?
And I'm thinking of what would be the appropriate response here. Is this a I mean, do we even want to roll, or do we just want to say that
I mean,
that's enough to
you've
that's
got
enough to
you've
take Ajla out, and then
you've got the narrative. So I mean, like, go ahead and it doesn't. The role in any of the games, I would think at this point, would be only if you want something to happen. Since you already
mm,
know what you want to happen, I don't think it's
yeah,
necessary here.
I
So,
like it. Yeah.
go ahead.
So I think Kalida just has this kind of smile on her face,
What?
and as Ajla slumps back down against the wall, her vision is starting to swim, head starting to spin, and I'll let you take it from there.
Ajla can feel herself, her eyes, her eyelids drooping, and her vision of this woman blurring. And as she's slipping, she can feel herself slipping off to the side and letting go of the sword. She can see in her mind's eye the woman with the silver eyes and see a wide grin on her face. And then she feels her head hit the ground. And then if Kalida's looking down at her.
Yeah, I think as soon as she slumps back, Kalida just immediately reaches for the sword.
And Ajla's hand will grab her wrist and say, "Oh, I don't think so." And her eyes open and she sees, Kalida will see silver eyes and a smirk on Ajla's face. "We haven't met. I'm Vess." And I think, let's see.
We're going to have a nice intercutting fight scene.
Oh, that would be great. No, I would love to do that.
Return of the Jedi style.
Oh, why do people keep referencing these damn movies? Oh my god. No, we are not copying him. So, hold on. All right. Let's see. Dangerous? I would say dangerous. If you want to create a track for that, I guess.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what her kind of tactics would be. Yeah. At least dangerous, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think, is there more to her than there is to Jurek?
I would imagine so. I mean, like, she's the one that was teaching him.
Yeah.
So
but
she resorted to. Go ahead.
If we go formidable, that's pretty dangerous.
Yeah,
in
that's
as
fine.
much as like that is 3 harm per hit. So
okay.
I mean, we can always. It's up to you. You call it dangerous or formidable, I would say.
Well, let's just up the ante. Why don't we? Let's just make her formidable because, yeah.
I haven't made a mistake.
She's like a viper at this point because I mean, like, you know, didn't know she was gonna try to poison Ajla. So, all right. So let's see. Enter the fray.
I suspect Vess is pretty like capable. Combat-wise.
Yeah. And also, because of Vess's background, she would have a familiarity with this poison or this plant that she, used against Ajla. Or at least she will be able to identify it once she's done beating the shit out of this sorceress. All right, great. Enter the fray. Ooh. So, hold on. It helps to like figure out like what I'm actually rolling against, but okay. Facing off against your foe, moving into position, striking without warning. Yeah, I would say striking without warning in this case.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. Yeah, because she thought she had it.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, my Mac decided.
So is that shadow?
Yeah, that's totally shadow. So. Okay, so that's a 6 + 2 = 8 against crap-a-doodle-doo. Jesus.
2 10s.
Versus that would be terrible. Versus an 8 and a 9. Damn it. Okay, so we're also
so it's
here.
a miss.
Yes. Wait, she doesn't have enough momentum. I know that. Oh, jeez, that's so okay. This is great. No, it's great. It's really great because I mean, again, just testing
Huh,
this.
you know.
Hmm. Okay.
So then at that point, you're going to pay the price. So
Yes.
what is the most likely thing there?
Um.
I wonder if, does it
Hmm.
make sense that like Vess kind of has to, obviously this poison has something of a, like a physical effect, right? So does she
Yeah.
have to kind of fight her way
I'm.
through that? And it's having more of an effect on her than she thought.
Well, it's like when she first went into Ajla's body and was trying to fight you because she was getting used to the way Ajla's body moved. So, I mean, this is again like one of those situations of like, you know, um, this is incurred by somebody else. So it's like shit. Um, all right. So give me a second. All right. All right. That is a 23. Huh. Your action has an unintended effect. Um. Oh.
We don't have to go with the table. Could always just,
I know, but I mean, like that just sounds very
yeah,
fascinating, and I'm trying to think of like how that
yeah.
would be interpreted. Hmm. Well, you have control over Kalida. What do you think? You know, um, it's like how do you think she would respond to having her wrist grabbed by the person that she thought she poisoned?
Yeah, I feel like she's going to do something witchy to get out of it. So yeah, I think she just kind of hisses in anger. She's not as taken by surprise by this as it first appeared, evidently.
Hmm.
And I think she kind of almost steps through Vess. You know, Vess, Vess like grabs her arm, the arm that she was helping, and she kind of becomes ethereal almost and steps through her and turns and um, I think, yeah, what is that's going to have to face danger to avoid a kind of attack from behind.
Okay, give me a second. Base. Nope, that's where is it? Combat? No. Face
Adventure Mace,
danger.
first one. Yeah.
Okay.
So how are you
There it is.
responding to
Okay.
this when
Um. Oof. Forceful defense. So she's gonna roll with iron.
sounds good?
Okay. What the fuck does that mean? Oh shit. Uh.
Iron's got to be 3, right? Is it?
Yes. Okay. Hold on. Wait. Okay, I'm not used to this dice. I don't know. I don't remember where I got this dice, but there's a skull head on it. I'm trying to figure out which thing it's trying to tell me. Is that a 10? I guess. I guess it's a
Right.
10. Shit. Okay, so 2 plus 3 is 5 versus a 10 and a 2. So weak.
Oh, that's a weak hit. Okay.
Okay.
It's better
Oh
than
shit.
nothing.
Right, but use okay, so she is going to like as Kalida's moving through her and getting away, then she's going to snatch up the sword and swipe at her. Troublesome cost. Choose one. I'm gonna have Vess endure stress. She's afraid because that she was not expecting that to happen
Sounds good.
necessarily. So, was it stress?
So you're going to roll the plus the higher of heart or spirit,
All right, hold on.
which I'm guessing is spirit at the moment because Vess is probably at full.
Yeah, she is. Okay.
Okay, so it's going to be +5.
Okay. So same thing, right? Just roll all the dice.
Yeah,
See
yeah,
what
yeah.
happens.
The D6 +5 versus the 2D10s.
Okay. I'm scared. I'm just like, oh goody. 2D10s, 6. Okay. Oh, all right. So that is 5 plus 5. So that's 10 versus a 4 and a 7. Okay.
It's a strong hit.
Okay. So endure stress. All right. So strong hit, choose one.
So yeah, for a start, you take your spirit down by 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can choose one of those 2 options, which means you
Okay.
can trade.
Oh, she's totally taking momentum to make sure
Yeah,
that she
so
can start
just
building that up.
yeah,
Give me a
makes
second.
sense.
Okay, and then take down 1 spirit, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, got it. All right. Okay. So that, I would imagine you said that keeps her at initiative? Because she got a strong hit.
That was a strong hit, yeah. So
Okay.
so that gives Vess the initiative. Yeah.
Great. All right, so we're going to try this again because we need to beat the shit out of this woman. Okay.
So you just striking?
Yes. Okay. That is... God dang it. All right. So that is a 6 versus a 4 and a 10.
You care.
Okay.
You inflict some harm.
Okay. And lose initiative. Okay, so that's...
Okay, yeah.
So
you inflict the harm, but pay the
3,
price.
right?
It's formidable. So you would do 1. It's 1 progress per harm, but you do 2 harm because you're fighting with a deadly weapon. So that's going to be 2 progress.
Okay.
So you're at 2 out of 10. That's pretty good.
Okay.
It's a good start.
Alrighty.
At that point, so then Vess loses the initiative, but
Okay, well, let's flip over back to...
I was just going to say, yeah.
Go back to Jurek. All right.
Yeah, so Jurek goes kind of stumbling across the floor as Gylrikin surprises him by sidestepping.
Mm-hmm. And pulls out the dagger. And you didn't roll yet on that, right? Like
I did not roll anything, no.
So you are, what is that, facing danger against?
Well, if he's coming at me with the dagger, it's a clash, right?
I guess so. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, see, it's going to be plus iron. 6 plus 3 is 9 versus a double 6.
Okay.
So that is a strong hit of the match.
Okay.
Turn that one around. Okay,
Great.
so
inflict your harm.
And choose 1. I'm going to choose that +1 because because I'm not fighting with a sword, right? So I'm only doing 1 harm per attack. So now I'm doing 2. So I think what this looks like is that as Gylrikin come towards Jurek just lands a punch right on him, right on his jaw.
Yeah.
And because he's dangerous, that's 2 progress per harm, so that's 4 progress.
Okay.
So that was quite the punch he landed on him. And
what does that put the progress at?
That puts the progress for that one at 4.
Okay. Alrighty.
So I've got separate tracks going here for Gylrikin and Kalida.
Okay. Alrighty.
Since they're not together, it's not in the same
exactly.
scene.
No, that's fine. And
anyway.
that works. Okay. So do you continue do you continue to have initiative?
So that gives me the initiative now, yeah. I've taken the initiative. So I think at that point, Jurek is going to try and do the same kind of head down, arms out, charge and grab him, try
Okay.
and throw him onto the ground. So that's going to be
Sure.
securing advantage design.
Okay.
3 + 3 is 6 versus 2 and 10. So that's a weak hit.
Okay.
My advantage is short-lived to take +1 momentum. So it puts me up to 6 momentum, which would not give me anything enough to burn that because I rolled a 10.
Right.
But yeah, so my advantage is short-lived. So I think Jurek doesn't manage to get Gylrikin off his feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He just like maybe shoves him backward against like a bookcase or a.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because there's so much crap in here that, I mean, he's able to do something to, you know, distract you or put obstacles in your way. That's not a problem. And you are also trying to avoid getting dropped into the void. So yeah,
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah,
you're kind of
that would
like
be an interesting. That would be an interesting like miss with the match result.
save it for a little bit. Now that you mentioned it. So did you lose initiative at
I
this
lose.
point?
I lose initiative because I only got a weak hit. Yeah.
Okay, flipping back to the the Vess and the Kalida fight. Okay.
Mm.
Um so this is still for her, for Vess. This is still clash, right? Because I mean she didn't have initiative when
She
we broke
didn't.
off.
Yeah,
Okay.
unless she's like, you can always make other moves, right? You can, if you're kind of acting defensively, you can face danger. If you're trying to like use some kind of positioning or like environmental advantage, you can make that a secure advantage. But if you're just like going to meet whatever she's coming at you with, that's clash, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I mean,
there's all kinds of other, but
right.
those would kind of be the three typical ones you'd be picking from there.
Yeah, I think she's gonna.
Whatever narratively makes sense.
Yeah, I think she's basically gonna, try to push whatever she can, and then try to regain initiative on her. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that phasing through took Vest by surprise, and she's now
Right.
pissed. So let's see. Let's roll with Iron.
Yes. So
I
that's
am
clash
desperate.
with
Yeah,
iron.
I am
Okay.
desperately trying all my different D10s here. Oh God. I swear, it is against me tonight. I swear.
You're going
Two
to
plus
curse me for
three.
making that.
2 plus 3. 2 plus 3 is 5, versus
Uh-huh.
2 8s.
Oh, that's a miss with the match
Yes,
on clash.
narratively.
So
Pay
you're
the
outmarked
price.
by the
Damn it!
price. I
Damn
mean,
it! Oh my
is
God. This is
like what is Kalida doing at this point? Is she?
that's on you. You're what in narrative control.
Yeah, I'm thinking. If she's kind of using a weapon or something, I think maybe she is. She's like using
I
some kind of cruel, wavy bladed
Yeah, she's got either like
dagger.
an athame, or she's got like
That's the word I was looking
or or,
for.
or like she's got some sort of like natural weapon, like a switch or something like that. But I mean, that she's doing something with it. You know what I mean? So like one
Yeah.
of those two things. I mean, or both. I don't care. I mean, because that was miserable.
So is this an endure harm for
I wait, hold on. If it's a miss, no, it said pay the price.
pay the price?
Because
But
I
one of
did.
the outcomes of pay the price can be to endure harm.
I guess I can try to endure
Make the
harm.
most obvious negative outcome happen,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean,
which is
because
like she stabs
that.
you.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Ugh. All right. Endure harm.
So this is a formidable opponent. So you take 3 harm.
Okay. Hold on. 3 harm.
So you go down to 2.
Where do I put that? Or is that on the track of something?
It's on no, it's on your character right under momentum is health. So you go down to 2 out of 5.
Ah. Okay. Oof.
Oh, and your spirit is supposed to be down to 4 out of 5, right? Because you lost one
Yeah.
before.
That's for
Oh
best. Yep.
wait, I'm looking at. No, you already did that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I got it.
I
All
was
right.
looking at the wrong character.
I know. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Hmm. So. Oh. Okay. So if I'm enduring, all right, harm. Okay. Then roll for health or iron, whichever is higher.
But your
That'll be
health is
iron
down to, yeah, that
too.
is now because your health's down to 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this would just be no, this would be all of them again.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm running out of time to figure out if this is gonna work or not. Oh my god. Shit. Okay, so iron is 3. So 3 plus 1 is 4. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, it's a weak hit because it's versus a 1 and a 7.
Okay.
Um,
So on a week, you
press
press
on.
on. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, the harm gets neither worse nor better.
Right,
It's just that 3 harm, which is bad enough.
right.
Um. Oh, does you know what we should look at here, which
What?
I'm totally forgetting, is like is Vess's assets.
Oh, yeah, but she has to have momentum for Swordmaster.
Yeah. Oh, and she has herbalist. Interesting.
Yeah,
She has Shadowkeep. Okay. Yeah.
but
Well,
that
she
only works if she has a ritual, but
has.
she doesn't have one. That
Oh
was when
yeah,
I was
she
planning something
was.
else for
Right.
her, but I didn't. I didn't do it, and it's like I totally forgot to change Shadowkin. um. Anyway, and she can't use her path until she's out of combat.
Mm-hmm.
Dang it. Okay. Yeah. So we can flip back to Jurek, or we can try to stick with this and see what happens if she tries to clash again. What do you think?
I think at this point, wouldn't Vess try and do something defensive or to counter? She doesn't want to take another stab from the Athame.
No, she does not.
Athame.
So what is it? Um, in this case, would it
I don't
be?
know.
I mean, she could. Hmm.
Face danger to
Yeah, I think that's gonna have to
build.
be
Yeah, because what you're probably trying to do here is like build
forceful
momentum,
defense.
or yeah,
Yeah.
build momentum, or
All right.
um,
Hold on. I'm gonna. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to, because I can't. My dice are being. If I still had a dice jail, they would all go in it. All right. I apologize. I'm just trying to pull dice that won't betray me. That would be nice. All right. Give this a shot. All right. So with iron. Ooh. Okay. 5 plus 3 is 8 versus 4 and a 4.
nice strong hit of the match.
Okay.
So on face danger, you take +1 momentum,
Okay.
which bumps you up to 5.
Yes. Okay. And then son of a poop. All right. Lost
And
it.
then you can. Well, how do we interpret that opportunity? Right. That's
So she sees that Kalida's got the Athame and the imbued switch, and what she does is 4 and a 4. What kind of? I think she's gonna be like she's gonna be bold, like, you know, she's gonna defend in the way that she would normally do, which is she's going to swing round and she's going to um hmm she's going to swing round and she's going to bring Kalida down. So she's gonna knock her off her feet one
Mm.
by with her footwork as well as with the sword. So she's going to bring Kalida off of her feet and knock her supine to the ground, I would
Yeah,
imagine.
I
Yep.
think, yeah, given the match, I think you have that
Yep.
narratively. I don't think you need to roll anything to try and do that. I think we can
No,
say
I
that the
think
match
that's
implies
yeah.
that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
she defends well enough to yeah. So Kalida kind of gasps in surprise as she crashes to the ground, and Vess has the initiative.
I'm trying to. There's not enough, is there? Shit. Okay, so what's the progress right now between her
Two.
and? Shit. Okay. Keep going. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's a tough fight because she's formidable.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. I should know. I should know that this is. Hey, I asked for it. It's fine. It's okay. All right. So strike, right? I mean that's the basic.
Sure, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ooh. Okay. Strike. Okay. So 2 + 3 is 5 versus a 3 and a 7. So weak. Inflict your harm and lose initiative. Okay. So deadly weapon is 2 harm,
Yep.
right?
So that's 2 progress
Okay.
against a formidable.
All right. Flipping over to Jurek.
Okay, so that goes back, goes up to 4 progress now.
Mm-hmm.
Getting better. Now, where do we leave Yorick? Sorry.
Oh, I want to say that.
Oh, he kind of crashed. Yeah, he got a weak hit on that
Yeah.
securing advantage, didn't he? So he kind of crashed.
Yep.
I don't want to just go with securing advantage again. That doesn't make sense. So I think we're going to be. Yeah, I feel like at that point, Gylrikin brings that knife to bear, and we're going to be clashing
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
with iron. Okay. Oh my god.
No. No. No.
I might have to show you this on the camera because
Oh
this
shit.
is.
I can't see anything except your background. What?
That's a 1 on the action dice versus a double 10. It's like literally mechanically the worst
1
roll possible.
versus 10 and 10. Oh my god. Um, you did call it. You have only yourself to blame. You called it. You gotta stop doing that. Stop that.
Yeah.
Totally keeping that in
I
the
mean,
podcast. Shit. God damn it.
I mean, does Gilrick
What
knock him into this portal?
Well, okay. So
It feels like an obvious outcome,
right,
right?
right. It is definitely an obvious outcome. So
and it's like drastic enough to be a.
we're just gonna roll with it. I mean, not roll with
Yeah.
it. But we just rolled with it. Sorry. It's too damn funny. Oh my god.
Was that a clash as well?
I think so.
Yeah. So
Yeah, because you didn't have initiative.
I'm taking harm for a start.
Shit. I think what ends up happening. Oh Lord. We didn't think it was possible, but that's what we get for getting cocky.
I mean, it doesn't have to be taking harm, right? Although it would make sense.
Yeah,
If I'm falling down into
because
a pit
because what happens is like when you try to move against him, I mean he's already moving with the dagger, and he sticks the dagger into your side, and as he is maneuvering you near the edge of the void that he's created, he looks you in the face rather calmly and with a measured smile. Don't worry. I'm sure she'll join you quite soon. And then he pushes you over the edge into the void.
So I'm going to endure 2 harm from that knife injury. Let me see if I can come out of that with any kind of dignity intact. So I'm going to roll plus health for iron. They're both the same, so it doesn't make any difference. I did manage a strong hit on that, so I have 9 versus a 4 and a 5. So I can either take +1 momentum, or I can trade a momentum for health. I feel like I'm going to do that. I'm going to bump down to 5 momentum and bump my health back up to 4. And I would have the initiative if I weren't now somewhere else. We will come back to that, shall we?
Sure. This is great. No. I'm enjoying myself. I really am. I'm just.
And I'm just thinking this might be the end of the whole thing.
It is not. It is not. We have plenty of things to do. Plenty of things to do. Trust me. Okay, so Vess has knocked Kalida on the ground. I'm trying to remember. She does or she does not have initiative. I remember we flipped over for some reason, but I can't remember if it was because of initiative or not. um, because
Yeah, last time she got a weak kit, didn't
okay,
she? I think.
okay, that makes sense. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, so
On
she wasn't able to be pushed over as easily as Vess had
right.
hoped. Yeah, yeah. So she's a spry little sorceress. Anyway, so I guess in this case it's gonna be a clash. I would imagine, because like she's trying to push. She's trying to get one over on her. Um, and iron again. So
Yeah.
we're gonna run with it. All right, this time it is a 9 versus a 2 and a 7. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh.
Nice. So strong hit on the clash.
Okay, so 2 harm, and
Oh,
that's
that takes you up to
yeah.
6 progress in the fight.
Okay, and then choose one. Bolster position. Momentum. Just gonna keep building momentum as much as I can.
Yeah. Because you want to use that sword master asset, right? Which requires
Exactly.
momentum to drive it.
Yep.
That makes sense.
All right.
So where are you up to now on momentum?
Momentum is up to 6.
Okay.
All right. Gonna continue now. Now strike, right? Because it turns it into a strike.
You can do that, yeah, if that's what you want to do next. Yeah, totally.
I mean, can't.
Yeah, I think that feels natural for this.
Okay. All right. So that is an 8 versus an 8 and a 6. So weak hit, inflict a harm. So 2 harm, and lose initiative. Okay.
Well, it's going. That fight has turned out pretty well. A lot better than. Yeah, man. Vess is going to be making fun of Jurek.
If they both survive.
So you're up to 8 progress on this,
Okay.
but you lost initiative.
Right. So
do you want to stick with this, or do you want to figure out what the heck has happened to?
Let's do a short interlude
Jurek.
with Jurek, because here's what's going to happen. You get pushed into this void space, or other space, and you can see the mists of purple and black and blue starting to surround you as you're watching Gylrikin's smug face from above you now. But you're not falling per se, you're kind of floating down. And as the mists envelop you, you start to think, or dream, or drift. And you see Tavik's face in your head. Does Tavik talk to you?
He does. So I'm just consulting my spirit bound move.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think Jurek is kind of imagining Tavik there, and says, "You didn't tell me this sister of yours was tangled up with sorcerers. What have you gotten me into, Tavik?"
I think he looks at you, and you can see that familiar smile on his face when you have said something what he considers funny. Start having Tom roll dice.
I should do, yeah.
Um, so anyway, I think Tavik will give you that look that you remember with that smile that says, "Oh, you said something really funny." And he looks at you and says, "I got you into nothing. You chose." And he laughs at you. You
And where
swore
the
on
hell am
iron.
I now?
Someplace that closer to me. I don't think you wanted this friend.
So I think I'm trying to push for like a gather information move here
Sure.
to try and figure out where he is,
Okay.
what this place is. I don't, So this is gather information plus wits, which is Yurek's worst stat. But he does get a +1 on it from it being via consultation with Tavik because it's his spirit band asset.
Yeah.
Okay, I rolled a 1 plus, so it's 1 plus 1 plus 1 is a 3
Okay.
versus a 1 and a 10. So that's the weak hit on the gather
Okay. Weak hit
information.
also endure stress.
Endure stress, 1 stress. So what does gather information do? The information complicates request or introduces a new danger. Vision what you discover. Ask the oracle if unsure. So,
All right. So while you're figuring out your endure stress thing and adding
I'll do the
momentum.
endure stress real quick while you think about that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he's going
yeah,
to take,
exactly.
he takes one stress, which takes him down to 4, and then he's going to roll. Endure stress is the higher of spirit or heart, which is spirit at the moment is 4. So 1 plus 4 is 5 versus a 1 and a 2. So despite the bad d6, it's still a strong hit. So I can shake it off. If your spirit is greater than 0, suffer -1 momentum in exchange for +1 spirit, or embrace the darkness, take +1 momentum. I'm going to embrace the darkness.
We like to embrace
But
the
my
darkness
momentum
around
up to
here.
6. Yeah.
Okay. Hold on while I'm thinking about this. Oh, okay. So Tavik will look at you. It's almost as if you have drifted into a place where You are closer to him. You are able to speak to him much clearer than you have been. Um, and it's a still place. You are no longer floating or falling. You are in a place of shadow and purple and blue. It'd almost be twilight. And he stays about a distance enough that you can hear him and see him. And he just gestures to it all and says, "This is a place that's closer to me. You don't belong here yet." Why did you make that promise? Why did you swear? And if
No lie, Tavik.
you swore to see her safe, to Rhyme Run. You did it.
But I owe you more than that. And since you're not around anymore, the best I can do is do right by her.
It's not over. That sword is now bound to her. That is... That spirit is our ancestor. We are related to Ves. If I had lived, I would have been the one run through with the blade. And Ves would have been bound to me.
And Ajla would have been safe. But I never gave you that chance, did I? I never gave her that chance.
You didn't know. You didn't know. I was one of the blades of the Iron Pact.
You?
Yes. We are direct descendants from Ves.
And Ajla?
Yes. Her too. That is why she's bound to the blade. Those zealots chasing after you now, they don't know that she's bound to the blade now. They'll be chasing her and you until they get that blade back. Much good that it'll do them. You don't have to do this, my friend. Would you have followed me if I had been bound to the blade?
I can't say, Tavik. I don't know.
These zealots want the blade for themselves now. There's a community of them. Two weeks ride from here. But they have pursuers. They have searchers looking for the Vest blade. They might accept that Ajla is now bound, but that doesn't protect you.
Okay, should we take a quick break there? I need to go do something real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then come back for a wrap up.
Sure.
Let me finish there.
All right, so 29 on my watch? Yep.
Yep.
Okay. All right, back to Vess. Oh, gosh. This bitch of a sorceress. All right. Striking. Fudge. All right. Actually, I think she lost initiative, if I recall correctly.
She did, yeah.
Okay, so then it's iron. All right. So 3 + 3 is 6 versus a 9 and a 3. Okay, so
that's a
weak.
weak then again. Unless you want to burn. What are we doing here? Is this a clash?
Yeah, this is a clash.
Okay, so you can.
Yeah, I don't think I have enough to.
You can't burn. Yeah, you can't burn to beat a 9, can you? No.
No. No.
Okay, so you inflict your harm, but pay the price.
2.
Retains initiative. I lost the sheet.
While you're doing that, I'll pay the price.
So 2. Well, you're up to 10 progress, so you can. You're in great shape here.
But I can't end the fight because I don't have initiative, right?
You can't, but you could use that turn the tide move, which lets you can use once per fight that lets you seize initiative.
Oh, okay.
But you've got to do that. You still have to do the pay the price first. But your next thing you do could be to retain.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Pay the price. Okay, sure.
I mean, clash. The obvious thing is taking harm, but that's a pretty severe result.
Okay.
In this case, on the table,
my table says for funsies, it's like I have.
I feel like rolling on the table is interesting because I kind of picture Kalida doing something kind of witchy here. She's not like just stabbing with a knife, right?
Right. So 54 causes a delay or puts you at a disadvantage. So, what would you like to say her what does she do that puts Vess at a disadvantage?
It feels like something to do with like revealing how out of time she is, or preying on the fact that she's a spirit that's no longer kind of part of the world. I don't know what that exactly looks like, but maybe it's even as simple as as she kind of tries to exorcise this Vess's spirit from Ajla's body. Muted.
Okay, so what does that seem like narratively? Like, what do you think that she does?
I think, yeah, is it going to be? I'm glad we can edit because long silences here. You're muted again.
I can chop it up where I only hear like the voice, but I mean, like
Mm,
if piano is going on while you're talking, then obviously I can't scrub that very well. But I mean, I can maneuver it a little bit so it's like it's not as apparent.
yeah,
Maybe.
cause a delay, cause a delay, cause a delay. Is it as simple as here's another witchy possibility is she kind of causes like the vines and the plants around Vest to like grasp hold of her and
I think that's yeah.
bind her
That
in place
yeah. That sounds like a good
and entangle kind of
yeah. That sounds kind of cool.
kind of
Yep.
thing. Yeah. So
Sure.
so Kalida kind of almost half laughs at Vest and her hand kind of turns in the air and Vest feels this ivy-like ground cover plant just grasping around her feet, and
Hmm.
she can probably get herself free, but she's definitely hampered.
Right. I mean, would it be something that I still could do, like try to turn the tide? I mean, or
Yeah, looking at what the rule
risking it
says, it's like
all?
once per fate. When you risk it all, you may steal initiative to make a move. When you do, add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit.
Okay. Um,
But it can't be a progress move, so you can't just like turn it into end the fight. But you can do anything.
yeah, yeah.
What all you
I
need now is a strong hit, so you can end the
yeah.
fight.
Okay. No pressure. No pressure.
You literally can't do any more harm to her. So
Right.
uh,
Okay.
I don't know. So secure an advantage to kind of pull yourself or face danger to pull yourself out of this thing. Oh boy, you missed, didn't you?
3 plus 3 is a 6 versus a 6 and an 8.
That's a miss. But you could burn momentum to cancel that 6 and turn it into a weak hit. If you want.
I feel like I have to. It's gonna suck, but I feel like I have to because if I don't, um, oh
It's going to be pay the price again, yeah. And
yeah.
so what was this move? Were you
I thought it
securing
was.
an
I thought it
advantage?
was like trying to do turn the tide.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, you're turning the tide and then trying to do what turn the tide does is give you like narrative permission to execute another move, basically,
Yeah.
with advantage.
Oh
I
wait, hold
mean,
on.
with you get a +1. You get a +1 from turning the tide.
So that's. I mean, now it is a weak hit. So it's
It now is a
seven,
weak hit. Yeah,
7 versus a 6 and an 8. Okay. All right.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, but I mean, if it's a
So
hit, even if it's a weak hit, then I still take 1 momentum, and that's really it, right? I mean,
yeah, right,
okay,
exactly. So
7.
I mean, that could look like you
I think
pulling yourself out
I
of
think
the.
she's basically like she's opening herself up to possibly being even more injured, um, by putting herself within Kalida's range of the Athame and the switch, but
Mm-hmm.
she is basically doing like a full on whirling move where she is cutting away at these vines that are coming after her to try to trap her. And then she's also doing it furiously because she remembers what it was like being held by the vines of the firstborn, and that is not okay. So she is definitely risking it all for this. So yeah. Um, we hit. So she has initiative back, and I can't just do a
Mm.
progress move.
Well,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
all right. So it would turn into strike,
sure.
or
Which is
would it
what
be
that
secured, or would it be secured
you
advantage?
can have it. Yeah, you can. It doesn't. There's not a particular advantage to strike because you can't do any more harm.
Right. All
You
right.
could take the on a weak hit. You could take the +1 momentum of securing advantage, which
Okay.
narratively would be you kind of cutting yourself free
Yeah.
from the vines or whatever.
Okay. So speed, agility, precision, charm, loyalty, courage, aggressive action, forceful. Meh. Yeah, iron. Definitely iron. All right, so that is a 4 plus 3, 7 versus a 2 and an 8. So weak hit. Advantage is short lived. Take +1 momentum. Okie doke. All right. So,
So at that point, Kalida is. I don't know. I think she's going to raise the Athame and come in for a clash, right?
mm-hmm. Yeah, I would imagine so. Okay.
As the entanglement didn't really hamper you as much as she may have hoped.
Right, exactly. But also, too, Vess is determined not to let that get in her way, and I yet lost another die. Great. All right. All right, so 5 plus 3 is 8 versus a 6 and a 10. All right, weak hit. Inflict. I can't inflict any more harm.
You can't.
Shit. Pay the price. Okay, great. So, how does this look? Do we want to just go with the negative outcome? Or do you want me to roll on the table and see how we interpret it?
That's on you, I think.
All right. Just for funsies. That looks like a 24. Oh, shit.
Some value is lost or destroyed.
What would you say Kalida has?
I mean, what is there other than the sword?
I know.
I mean, we can't destroy it, but
No, no.
we could separate. We could separate Bess from it.
Mm.
It could be as simple as Kalida manages to take it from her.
Right. Um, Could run with that. See how that. I mean, again, conflict, stress. She is a formidable bitch. I leave that up to you. Do you want that to happen?
Yeah, I think as you clash,
Mm-hmm.
Bess is kind of focused on the Athame coming for her, and Kalida is cunning and clever, and even though she's hurt and losing the fight, she manages to, through kind of sleight of hand, take the blade out of Vess's hand. It's almost like Vess doesn't know how this has happened. There's trickery afoot there.
Well,
And
I mean, the phasing, so.
Yeah, exactly. Something akin to that. So the next thing we know is that Kalida is holding the thing, and Vess is on the back foot. So what's she gonna do?
She can't hold all three things at once. So if she's stolen the sword, she had to have dropped or let loose one of the other things. So.
Yeah.
Is it the Athame or is it the switch?
I think it's the Athame, right? That's what she was attacking with. So it makes sense that she kind of had to take her hand off of that to pull the moves she made.
Sure. Is this where... No, because then she doesn't have the initiative, does she? Shit. Does she need the initiative for in the fight? Just asking, I don't know.
She does, yes.
Shit. Okay.
You can only do end the fight if you have the initiative.
Okay. All right, well. Clash. I mean, just to...
Yeah, okay.
Or do I try for secure advantage again? Because, like, she's trying to get the Athame.
Trying to get the... Yeah, go for that. Yeah, that's an interesting outcome, right? That you...
Just out of curiosity, what is this? Nope, that's no better. Shoot. Okay. Yeah, what the hell not? I mean, like, I'm gonna say, like, you know, like, if Kalida's gonna pull some sleight of hand shit, then she's also gonna do so with her shadow. So, yeah, let's go with that. Oh. Rolling great. It's awesome. 3 versus 6 and a 3.
You could burn momentum, turn that into a strong hit.
Okay. All right. So
I'm going to cancel. You can cancel a 6, right?
Yeah. Well, wait.
Oh no, it has to be higher.
Has to be higher.
What's your momentum right now?
Momentum is 8, but I mean it just turns
then
into
you can
a weak
do it.
hit. Well,
no, it doesn't. No, because you cancel both, right? You basically, the momentum replaces your action score. So if you have an action score of 8, that's a strong hit, isn't it? What did you say the challenge dice were?
Challenge dice was 3 and a 6.
Yeah. So if you have a score of 8, then that beats both of those.
Oh, okay.
So then at that point you could end the fight.
Okay.
But you've got to burn momentum to get it. But that's fine.
Okay. Burned. All right.
And then, yeah, so what does that look like? I guess that's very Vess.
Yeah. So Vess has
getting hold of the Athame.
She risked it, and she let Kalida get close enough to be able to do her little trick with grabbing the sword, but she could not hold on to the Athame. So Vess now has it, and yeah, she has it, and challenge die. So progress. What's my the progress is what, 10 now?
Progress is 10.
Okay. So challenge die it is to end the fight.
Yeah, all you
Please,
do is
goodness
not
God.
get any 10s.
How many times do I have to keep telling you stop doing that? Okay, good. 7 and a 9.
It's perfect. Then that's a strong hit on end the fight.
All right.
So
she thrusts the Athame into Kalida's heart. Yep. and then whispers in her ear as she drops deeper onto Ithame, and Kalida's head comes close to hers. She whispers in Kalida's ear, "You are never going to take this sword from me." And then lets her drop to the ground.
Wow.
Yep. And now,
That feels to me like a great place to end the session.
I'm gonna add an Ithame
Yeah.
to the gear. Okay. Yeah. No, that's, oh my god. Okay. I mean, if you have time, it's like
Yeah.
ours wishes.
A few minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my god.
that was just, yeah, like it was a super interesting session because I think for the
That,
first hour we didn't touch a die,
no, no.
and
Well,
then it turned into like this just
back and
this like
forth. Holy
back and forth
crap.
combat thing
That was
that was really fun. Yeah,
that was so cool.
I really like the combat in this system.
Yeah.
It's quite mechanical, but it flows really well. I think once you get a hang of it. So that was fun. It was fun that we got like both sides of the coin in this session.
No, I didn't.
What I really liked is it took us in totally unexpected directions. Like I thought, coming out of the last session, I thought Kalida was going to be like potentially a kind of ongoing threat.
Sure.
And the the turn with Gylrikin as well, where now it turned into blows straight away, which was kind of. But we had some interesting back and forth there with Jurek kind of goading him a little in his quiet way. Not quiet, his stoic kind of laconic way, and Gylrikin rising to it, but rising like worse than I think Jurek was ready for.
Well, I mean, he didn't have any suspicion that that was even going to be possible. I mean, she told you that he wasn't a magic user in any way, and nobody knew. Well, shit. So, yeah, no, I mean, stars for how it turned out because, now there's actually, because of the way things turned out, now there's things that can be explained or resolved. So now that Kalida's not there, then now there's this, I think the villagers will start to remember. And I think that spell of forgetfulness will start to go away. But now there's a void in Gylrikin's tower. So we don't know whether he knows how to take care of it or not.
Right. If that's something that she did, is that now like beyond his power to control?
Well, he knew how to activate it. So again, was that him or was that her?
Yeah.
And now that she's dead, wild magic? Oh shit. Could be fun for next time. And now you have complicated information that you got from Tavik. I was not expecting to lay that at your door today. I mean, but that's the way it came out, and I really think that is what would have happened if Tavik had lived, to be honest. Because, yeah. It would not have been the tattooed fellow. I think it would have been Tavik who would have eventually run into that, literally. Yeah, no, I mean, like that came out, that developed into a lot clearer of a path than I expected, and thank you for that, because it was a good back and forth.
and we came out. I think we came out of this session with like, because we were worrying that we were developing so many threads,
Yes.
and I think we've come out of this kind of with one fewer. So that's probably good.
Yeah, I mean, well, we literally cut some down.
Yep.
But now there's like now the complication of like, oh, oh, you know, um, now you are confirmed in the fact that there is the cult chasing after
Mm-hmm.
us or her, for that reason. And now it's like I can't wait to see what, how Yurek's gonna get out of there. Um, so that's an interesting, little diversion. But again, it's one of those things where I think it's an interesting development.
Yeah, for sure.
So Vess is awake, and Gylrikin's in the tower, and Yurek's in the void. Oh!
And the blade has tasted blood,
Ah, yeah.
and even if it didn't make a kill,
Yeah.
although in a way it did because Vess kind of is the blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, she's playing now, remember. I mean, like, anytime that she's awake, she's playing, and, I mean, the blade was not going to be very far from Ajla.
Mm.
And, now it's a confrontation between Ajla, who was just trying to break down the the knocker, I think. It's where we sort of had left it at one point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it just got flipped, which is fine. I mean, like, it is what it is. And I can take that part out. Thank God for editing. Um, and then, yeah, I mean, I just think the fights were really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Bad
always
die
fun
rolling.
to like when you have a character like Ursula and like Vess who is good at that to kind of let them loose. It's quite satisfying.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. But I mean, like, what was sad was the fact that I mean, like, we were trying to build momentum, and
Mm,
eventually
mm.
she didn't use it for that purpose, for the purpose of her
Well, she
swordmaster
did. She
move. No,
she.
she didn't. She didn't do sort of striker clash.
Oh, true. Yeah, but she
Yes.
burned it to like win the
Yeah.
fight, right? So
Right.
that's yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So, but I mean, I
yeah,
just I just think it's funny, and then I think maybe even before she will go into the tower to confront Gylrikin, she'll like see the herbs and stuff that Kalida had collected, and then in there, like, she would recognize some of the ones that could
yeah.
possibly, um, uh, not cure, but at least to be able to mitigate the poisoning that
Yeah, yeah.
Kalida had started. So, yeah, no, I mean, this was holy crap, this is so much fun. Oh my god.
Cool.
And then,
Do we think?
yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, we progress.
Do we want? Yeah, I was going to say, do we think you want to give Ajla a tick on breaking the blade binding?
Yeah.
I kind of think it's earned. Like it was, we learned something.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So you're
then,
up to 3 ticks on that now.
yeah, 3 ticks.
So that's an epic. Yeah.
Yep. And then,
Make peace with Tavik.
what
I
do you
kind of want
think?
to say that do you think I can justify making progress on that given that conversation I had with him
I
about
mean,
why Jurek is helping Ajla?
in a weird way, yes, because you have to resolve how you viewed your friend.
Mm-hmm.
And your friend laid something really heavy on you that you would not have known unless he told you. And unfortunately, he's dead and laying on you in the afterlife. Oh yeah. I mean, sure. I mean, I think it's definitely like where you're coming to realize it's like you were close friends, but he didn't tell you everything. So, yeah, I think you definitely deserve a tick or something from that. So, um, do we have to do like another? Well, we're not anywhere past it yet, but I mean, like, is that something that we only do, like, with the undertake the journey thing, only when we leave the place that we're at? Oh, you're on mute.
Correct. Yeah, we only do that if we when
Okay.
we actually make that undertake a journey move to travel somewhere.
Okay. Well, we're not going anywhere
But
yet
no,
because
I mean that thing doesn't earn us any experience anyway. It's the vows of the vows are the only thing that earn you experience. So
really, well,
yeah,
that
yeah.
sucks. No, it really does because it's
Well, we
like,
got to we establish some more
oh,
now, right?
uh, it, yeah.
Potentially. Well, we
Well,
we just both earned progress in it, right? So on
yes.
our big ones,
Mm,
which obviously that's going to take forever to complete. But
yeah, yeah. But I mean, that's fine. I mean, like I
yeah,
said, I'm looking at my chart here. Like my table still has a lot of stuff on it. So,
and we
yeah.
already have a little bit of XP to spend, right? I think I have two,
You
and you have one.
you have two, I have one. I mean, like, and but
Yeah.
I can't really do anything with it yet, so that's fine. And why are you going to add something? Are you going to add an asset?
I will look at it over the week and
How
think I
can
was kind
you
of vaguely saving.
do you replace one or do you add one?
No, you add another one.
Oh wow.
If
Okay.
you can spend two to tick another box on the one you already have, on
Right.
one of the ones you already have. So you
Sure.
gain one of the additional features of it.
Sure.
Or you can spend three to add a new asset. So then you would have four assets.
Got it.
I think the limitation is that you can only ever spend like 30 XP per character ever.
Huh.
But even that would be like crazy. Then you would have like
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff at that point, and that would take
I
forever
mean,
to get there.
well, I mean, again, I'm just like looking at this and I mean, like, I know that because of the epicness of the progress track here, I mean, it's going to take a while. As you said, like at least 40 to be able to
Mm,
tick it all the way through.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Um, but damn, I mean, I can't even imagine like where you would even be able to earn it, even in the ticks or whatever. So, I mean, that's just yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Takes a
Oh,
while.
no, okay. Well, that's fine. I mean, this I don't think this was really ever meant to be like a one shot or whatever.
No, for
You have
sure. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's definitely
And
campaign
then
play.
and you establish other vows along the way, right? That are probably smaller ones that you can then tick up experience with. So, like, if you have a dangerous vow, now we coming out of this, we swear revenge on the blade cult, or we say, something, or
Yeah, there's okay, there's got to be
I don't know.
something.
Nothing springs to mind right now, but
Well,
I'm sure it will
I,
come out.
I mean, it's the wrong person that's like, that's out right now because Vess is
Mm,
awake, Ajla's consciousness is poisoned or what have you. And so she doesn't want to be dispelled or pushed back in the blade or whatever. I mean, like Vess
mm,
wants
mm.
to live the most that she can. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it just opens up so much more fun. I don't know if it's like true stars and wishes, but I mean, stars for this session. This was really good. I think we got a lot out of it. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. All right, great.
Okay. I'll see you next week.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll speak before then, but yeah.
absolutely. All righty. Have a
Mm.
good night.
You too. See ya.
See ya. Oops.